Hello, everybody. How are you doing on this fine Sunday evening? Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers, and hopefully all you sons and daughters, you know, celebrated your mother. Hang on one second. Just got a message from Uncle Ed is running a few minutes late, so it's just you and me for the first few minutes of the show. Ed will jump in when he can, but let's everybody. I have a feeling tonight might be a little thin on the chat just because it's Mother's Day. I get it. Spend time with your mom, but maybe you've already spent time with your mom. Now it's time to spend time with your friends, talking a little Inter Miami football. So we'll have some fun tonight talking about. I want to touch on a couple things, but I'm going to split them up. So I want to first start talking. We'll talk about the game and give our thoughts on the game. And I've got a couple voicemails in the queue, but about the game, and then actually, after we discuss the game a little bit, I want to discuss Messi being upset about some of the new rule changes. So we'll discuss it, but we'll probably split those into two different sections a little bit, just because we can go into a deeper dive on some of these rules and get our thoughts on some of those things, but. Before we get too far, let's give a big thank you to our sponsors. Let's start off with Caneswear. Caneswear is located in Davie, Florida, just south of 595 on University Drive. They have the messiest wall in all of South Florida. The best deals in town. I was just there, actually. Bought a couple hats. Bought the hat that I'm currently wearing. And here's the thing. You need to follow Caneswear on social media because they had a buy one, get one half off deal on all their hats. So you could have gotten a Marlins hat and an Inter Miami hat, an Inter Miami hat and a Dolphins hat, or two Inter Miami hats, whatever you wanted. Buy one, get one 50% off. That deal's done, but I took advantage of it. It was a Thursday, Friday deal. So, follow them on social media. And also, if you are watching this internationally, I just got confirmation they will ship internationally. So you want to buy something, you want to support a local South Florida business, they ship international. So there's that. All right. And if you want to buy or sell property, you need to talk to Mia Rodrigues. Call her at 754-269-6923. She's got a WhatsApp, speaks Portuguese, English, and Spanish. I was going to say speaks Brazilian, American, instead of actually, Anyways, she is, will help you buy and sell your property, person you can trust. And she supports the show. So support her. Support an Inter Miami fan. All right. And let's say hi to you guys that are in the chat at this point. And then we'll get to the, topics, and then you guys drive the conversation as you so choose. First person I see in the chat, B. King. Welcome, B. King. Happy Mother's Day. Is there a watch party at Broward for Wednesday? I'm not sure. I don't know. I'll be watching it in my house. Most likely. Louis Rodrigues, who I think has some thoughts on the rules. I think I saw him posting something about that, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. Our buddy Caesar, one of our patrons, is here. He also left a voicemail, so we'll get to that in a few. The best sports photographer in South Florida, Chris Arjun, welcome. One world, one goal, always here. Oh, well, let's do this one. Patrick Barnhill, our friend. Respect to all the mothers out there. Word to your mother. Carl Toppin. Big up from Jamaica. Nice. Sport Shorts is here as well. Happy Mother's Day. Stay as long as you can. Yep. Make sure you give attention to your mom. If you need to watch us back later, no problem. You can always do that. Esteban Dido is here. Peter 50 code at checkout gives you 50% on all Caneswear merchandise. That is not true. And contrary to popular belief, I pay the same thing you guys pay. So you mentioned FMTV, you will get a 10% discount, but that's it. I don't get any better discount than you do. I'm there forever though when I go in, because I end up hanging out, chatting with them, and getting some updates on what they might have coming. Some good stuff. Julio Enriquez. Good evening, everyone. And he is also a patron. So if you're not sure what we're talking about, if you want to, go that extra mile and you want to support the channel, we don't really talk about this that much, but it's available. Patreon.com/FootballMiamiTV for only $5 a month. You just are helping support the channel. You help, do more content, maybe get better cameras, pay for this application that we use. This application that we're using right here is not free. So, it's there. If you want to join in and support the channel. It's like one of those things. You pay $5, you forget it's even happening. It's even happening. It's great, but it means a lot to us. So, all right, everybody. So, still waiting on Uncle Ed. A little bit more than a few minutes late, but where do you guys want to go? So, my thoughts on the game. And that's why I titled this Comeback Kings, because it's obvious. We kind of joked about it a little bit last week, me and Ed, talking about how we kind of like, we're doing this on purpose. We want the other team to feel like they have a chance, right? But it's really annoying as a fan that you're the better team, and yet you boneheaded mistakes. Kristoff being in there. Kristoff, look, I'm not always a fan of Avilés in the back. I think sometimes Avilés makes some mistakes as well, being young and all that kind of stuff. But when Kristoff is in there, it makes me appreciate Avilés more. That old man is just too slow. And the way Tata had them in the beginning of the game, he's having them push up. And on that first goal, that Bryce Duke, we had two Inter Miami rejects on the field. Two rejects that I like. I like Bryce Duke a lot on the field, and Bryce Duke scores that first goal. Lassiter did well as well. He didn't score, but he did well. When Kristoff was pushed up so far on that first goal. And I saw him pushed up so far, and I was like, oh, no, this is going to end bad. He's not going to be able to get back when the ball was given away and all that stuff. A couple other people checking in. Tank is here. Montreal had a great game. Their tall kid is going places. So many awesome passes, assists, one goal. Yeah, I think Montreal's kind of still a little bit in that rebuild phase, but they're not a bad team. They're not bad. They're not rejects. No, I said it in joke. I do like those guys. They also have Joseph Martinez, but he did not play. Eric Thomas is here as well. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. Louis is saying the formation was 4-4-2. Wasn't bad formation for the Miami to start. But they listed them as 4-4-2, but they weren't playing that way. And actually, Tata also, he commented on that he blamed himself. Tata blamed himself for doing more of a 3/5 formation when they first started. I know on the sheet it listed as 4, but he even said I had them playing as the 5-man, and then that wasn't working, and so he then he made the adjustment that we all know wrong person. You guys saw a little behind the scenes there. All right. And now we welcome in Uncle Ed. Ed, how you doing?
Hey, Peter Brown.
Where you at, Ed?
I'm actually at my daughter's house. Wasn't able to get home. It's Mother's Day and all.
Yep.
But
so
cool
we were.
background.
What's that? Yeah, looks nice behind you. Nice little nice view there.
Yeah.
Looks. Oh wait, no. Okay, yeah, hang on. I got to turn something off because I'm like, hey, your umbrella that you're under is like pink. No, it's not.
Oh, I see.
It just had some bleed through. It had some bleed through from your normal background.
Yep, my bad. So how's it going, Peter Brown? An incredible game last night.
It was exciting. But like I was just saying before you got on, is that they we're always giving up that early goal, and we're the comeback kings. But it is kind of annoying always having to be that, always having to play from behind every game. So that's kind of, it's pretty annoying. And then when you see someone like Kristoff pushed up so far, that's going to be trouble. And they hit us on the break, and our defense just can't get back fast enough.
Yeah, it's a problem. Christoph has just not been on his game the past this year. Might be a time to look for somebody else. We definitely need help in the back, and yeah, we're always behind. We're always, it's incredible. But even when we went down 2-0, I was like, we could still get back from this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it was just like even a tie. I was like, okay, fine, I'll be okay with a tie. But it worked out pretty well in the end.
Here, sports shorts. I got everybody thinking this now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. In the beginning.
That's how it is. It's got to be our new background music.
Yeah, if it wasn't copywritten.
Yeah.
I think the only way we can get away with it is you and I just going, give it away, give it away. Our version.
That's all we can do. Yeah.
That's it.
That's true.
But yeah, they get the funny thing is, I'm watching the game and I'm thinking, well, all good things must come to an end. We can't go unbeaten forever. I'm just thinking, maybe it might just be a bad night, because even like, our stars weren't all that involved. Some teams, like every time Messi had the ball, Montreal was on him. So they did a pretty good job of trying to shut him down. So that was positive for them.
Right. And no, it was just they did what they had to do. It just wasn't enough for them. What could I say? Our offense is awesome. If it wasn't because of them, we would not have all the goals that we have. We have tons of goals, but we also receive a lot of goals. So that's something that needs to be addressed soon. We could totally dominate Major League Soccer, but if we had a better defense. But Rojas, for example, that dude is just like God sent. He's probably the best, the best signing they've probably made, out of all of them, I would think so far.
When I was watching that, when I saw that goal, I yelled out, "Who needs Messi?" I mean, I'm going to piss off a lot of people. I'll piss off a lot of people by saying that. But that was like, look, there's a chance Messi might have missed that. He had already missed one earlier, so there's a chance he could miss that. And Rojas that was stellar, and he's only going to get better the more time he plays with the team. And even he was a little bit shut down. He wasn't super active in the game. But the one problem with having Rojas in the game, though, and I think you chatted to us that you wish Taylor had started, but they're playing the same position.
Yeah, I think they could do some tweaking there. I think Rojas could play probably a little bit farther back. But, I mean, it's good that we got depth in midfield. The only thing I'm worried about is, the only thing is I think everybody worries about is the defense. That's our only weakness right now.
Yeah, Luis Rodrigues saying that Rojas with that side free kick, and that curve on that free kick was beautiful. It was sick. Yeah, I agree.
And Messi was mad because he wasn't able to get on the field, because of those stupid rules or whatever, he wasn't able to get on. It kind of doesn't make any sense to me, Peter, because, it was an actual injury. It was an actual, tough, play by Montreal. And, we get penalized.
Well, let's pause on that. Let's talk. I want to go into a deeper dive on that. So let's kind of like go through our thoughts on the whole game and all that kind of stuff. And then I want to go. I've got the rule up on the screen. I want to let's go. So like in like 5 minutes, let's go deeper dive on that. And because I think I have thoughts. So and we got a couple voicemails that are specific to the game. So I figured let's kind of talk a little bit on some of those things. A new Weissman made something wrote something that was funny in here. A new Weissman from Atlanta says, "Hi Peter, can we get Tata back? Atlanta's in 10th place. It's unacceptable for a club like ours. They want Tata back. People here complain about Tata, but everybody in South Florida complains. So, you know."
Right.
Richard Greenberg is here as well.
Richard's probably happy because Toronto's doing pretty well as well. They're not too bad. Not as bad as last year, that's for sure.
That's right. That's right. Hey, so why don't we play a couple voicemail and then we'll move on. Are you here for the duration, Ed, or are you going to have to go in a few?
I'll try my darn tootinest
until the family starts yelling at you.
Until they start saying or whatever they'll say.
All right, here we go.
It's time for your voicemail.
Hello.
Man, that was a rough win against Montreal. This is Caesar Striker Fred. Typical, usual Inter Miami. We get scored on early on. We get scored on first. If they didn't pick it up later, I don't know what would have happened. Our typical stuff is completely different from our domination we had last week. This week, they couldn't find their groove. Thank God for that Rojas free kick goal that is identical to a Messi free kick goal. And Kamashi, when he fought for that goal, thank God he did. That got it to 3-2. But I don't know, man. I don't know how much I can take this, but I'm not surprised. But thankfully, we got 3 points on the road. We need to keep building a cushion because once we lose our top squad due to international duties, we're going to get crushed. All right, guys. See you at the show tomorrow. Later.
Yeah, thank you, Caesar. And to that point, Ananias Mathwa also commented, "Come Copa America, we will see. We need Messi." So this team is clearly built around one player. Well, for the most part, him and Suarez. But I forgot what the record was. But they talk about this in the preseason games. Preseason before not preseason, the pre-match breakdowns, where they talk about how many wins did Inter Miami have without Messi. When he was injured or so forth, and how many wins do we have with Messi? There's definitely a big difference. I think it's like 1 win without him and a bunch with him. Something like that. Why does this keep?
We definitely need to make more points right now that we have Messi and the whole team, because we're probably going to miss Suarez also. Who else? There's a couple other players.
Losing Suarez is unbelievable. I mean, the fact that we would lose, that they would call him up. I mean, I get it. He's playing well, but you figure you want to go younger, but I don't know. But yeah, that's what I've said is like, right now, forget about we're leading in the Supporter Shield. Forget about the Supporter Shield. We're probably not going to be around for the Supporter Shield because we got to prepare that we're going to lose a handful of games. Because we're going to be losing these best players. And that's where, people talk about MLS playing through the international calendars. Seems ridiculous and stuff like that, and that we should be taking breaks on those kind of things.
Yeah, for sure, Peter. We've got plus what's it called? What's the other cup that we got to do? The one that we won. We got to play that one. There's a couple tournaments we got to play. So
Leagues Cup, but Leagues Cup, the league stops. But the league stops for Leagues Cup.
Okay.
We're not playing MLS games and Leagues Cup games at the same time.
Copa America, and then we got the Olympics, so that's going to hurt us because there's going to probably be a couple players. Gomez might not even go to that because he's kind of hurt.
He's injured.
So we might get him back. But yeah, we're definitely going to have less players, and Messi not being the most important one.
Yeah, hopefully the injuries start coming back and we start looking a little bit better with that. But Oh, yeah. Julio says, we don't need to wait till Copa America. When he was injured, we saw it.
That's true.
So, but hopefully I don't know. The team is play. Oh, that was also earlier in the season when we lost him. So, Louis feels like Rojas could take over that position for Messi, at least on free kicks. He can on free kicks.
Well, at least when he's gone, I think Rojas is the perfect guy to take over that position. We already know he can do, free kicks, so that's a plus. And I'll wait to have my further comments on what Messi, his concern when the free kick was taken. But
Yeah. All right.
yeah, I mean, you got a couple more messages.
Let's go to one more voicemail, and then let's go over to the rules.
Let's do it.
Because we all saw the game. I start getting bored just talking about the game. We all saw the game. But the fun stuff to me is when people complain and bitch and moan and all that kind of stuff. I love that stuff. The drama.
This is Ed Serrano from Ted Psychowski, Florida, which is located in Quito, Ecuador. I'm just glad we have the best player in the league and possibly the world on our team. And, of course, I'm talking about Matias Rojas. I love that guy. He may have replaced Diego Cerda in my heart as my favorite all-time South Florida athlete. It goes Diego Cerda, Matias Rojas, and probably the Reese brothers are 3 and 4 on there. I know you like those deep cuts, Peter. But anyway, no, last night's game was not great for Inter Miami. But you know what? We won. I don't like David Ruiz at all, but I think he's terribly offensively, but he does run a lot. I mean, he does do some nice defensive plays when he's not committing red cards. So I don't know. I think we really need Gomez and Redondo back. Once they're back, I think things. But they're not coming. We're not going to have a full team for quite a while because of the stupid MLS playing. Someday I'm going to leave a voicemail just about how much I hate some of the decisions MLS makes. Why are we playing during FIFA tournaments? It's ridiculous. And not only that, I think, we could possibly have the best team in MLS history. We could probably win the most games, have the most points, and score the most goals. We're actually on pace to score the most goals in MLS history. All of that's going to stop once the Copa America is in play. Anyway, good game. They won 3-2. By the way, one of your callers, the one that doesn't like me, we'll call him Mr. Dido. I saw him in a chat room on one of your competitor shows. Now, I was listening to the competitor show also, but only because I was bored. I don't I don't participate in their chat rooms. I'm not a traitor. Anyway, all right. I'll see you guys later.
Ted Sikowski calling Esteban Dito out.
Calling him out.
Esteban, where's your voicemail? Let's hear your rebuttal. What's your excuse?
Them fighting words, I tell you.
First off, no competitors. We're all friends. Probably talking about the battered herons. Love those guys. I actually am possibly going to be doing a Disney podcast with Daniel from the Battered Heron. So, we're cool with them. So, enjoy both shows. And if there's a scheduling conflict, watch ours live and watch theirs on replay. And, that way you can have fun with everybody. But
if I didn't have Football Miami TV, I would probably be watching everything that has to do with Inter Miami because I'm just that much of a fanboy, So it's all good with us. There's plenty of room for everybody. We're like a community, so it's all good.
Yeah, and he touched on everything, a lot of the same stuff. We got one more voicemail that just came in, a 954 number. I'm not sure who that's from, but playing through the international window and some of the MLS rules. We're going to get to those in just a minute. One more voicemail, and then we'll get to the MLS rules. unless more come in.
Hey, Pete and Uncle Ed. It's Tank, or a.k.a. Bruno. Just want to say it was a pretty competitive game. Montreal brought everything at home. They surprised us with 2 pretty perfect goals. And the 4-4-2, it was okay. The players we chose were good. They just got to get back in form. Christoph, Kermaki, Rojas still getting into form. I was glad with the subs he made and the time of the subs too. And the team and the depth of the team just keeps getting better and better, and we keep finding a way to win, even when we're not playing at our best or perfectly, even when Messi wasn't, the star of the night. Well, keep doing the amazing show. I'll talk to you guys next time.
Thanks a lot, Tank / Bruno. One World, One Goal talks about the competition. Danny and Peter are very similar, actually, but nobody has an Ed like our Uncle Ed. So I'm generic. You're unique. That's how I read that.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if anybody has that enthusiasm that Peter Brown has. Kind of hard to believe that Danny's got that enthusiasm.
Esteban defending himself. That is where Ted psychosis kicks in, yet he was in the Battered Herons YouTube as a viewer as well. Go figure. That's why it's funny that he's calling you out, because he was there too. So, anyways, all right, Ed, let's talk about this little thing here. Let me remove that. Messi upset at off-field treatment rule. So that's the name of the rule. So you get injured, and actually, let's actually read the rule. Here's the rule. This was this was instituted starting in April 20th, but it was every team knew about this before the season started. It just took a little while to institute because of the referee strike. But once they came back and they had a week or so, they instituted. So it's called the off-treatment rule. This is what the one that Messi was upset about, and this is the one that Suarez is upset about, because they were both upset. But off-field treatment rule allows medical professionals with time to assess and treat players off the field in a less pressurized environment. But here's the basic thing: if a player with a suspected injury remains on the ground for more than 15 seconds, the referee will stop play, wave the medical crew onto the field. Blah blah blah. We know how that works. You generally go off the field. But now when you go off the field, you have to stay off the field for 2 minutes. And actually, it doesn't. Yeah, here it is. When safe, the player will be removed from the field and remain off the field for a minimum of 2 minutes for further assessment and treatment. So this was first implemented in MLS Next Pro last year. And the idea of it, Ed, is that, it's supposed to stop the simulation. It's supposed to stop or slow down all those people all those players out there that fake injury, to slow the game down, whatever, to gain some sort of advantage. So I get why the league did it. Now all of a sudden, it's unpopular because it happened to Messi. And that was actually, the coaches were all okay with the rule. All the coaches and GMs were okay with the rule. The only thing they were curious about is, this sounds all well and good when, it's a Colorado who doesn't have any big name stars, but what is it going to be like? How are the referees going to treat it when it's a DP, when it's a Messi, right? Are they going to institute the rule when it's a Messi? And here we saw they did. What are your thoughts on this rule, Ed?
Yeah, Peter, I mean, how do you differentiate when it's an actual foul and when it's not? I think that's what it comes down to. In this case, I know what it was made, so they won't lose time when a player is, faking it. In this case, it wasn't faked. I mean, he actually did get hurt. I mean, there's a video to prove it. So, that's where I think people are thinking it's unfair because he had to spend 2 minutes out. It's kind of like a punishment. If this continues, I mean, what's going to stop other teams from hurting players, just to take them out? This could be the first time they take out Messi, but it might not be the last.
So
And of
I
course,
don't.
Messi was mad. Let me finish up real quick. Of course, Messi was pissed because there was a foul
Right.
and there was a free kick that he wanted to take, and that totally went against us. Thankfully, it all ended up working out because Rojas ended up scoring off of that, so it worked out. But I see where he was mad and where there could be a conflict in the future.
So I don't think it's not up to the referee to judge whether or not you're faking it or whether it's real. So I think you got to throw that out. You fell down on the ground, you rolled around long enough for them to call out the medical staff. It's real, right? And as far as a referee goes, it's real. We don't, so then, off the field. And I don't, to be honest, I don't have a problem with it. There's a little asterisk to this with the Messi thing, but I don't have a problem with it because at the end of the day, it should help slow down. I don't think it'll ever stop it, but slow down the fakers, the gamesmanship, and let's just get on with it. If you're not really hurt, get up and let's get moving. I don't really have a big problem with it. I think the issue with this one is you could say that I get what you're saying in that, okay, Messi's punished, but he didn't do anything wrong. So the question is, should that have potentially have been a yellow card? If it was a yellow card, he would not have to step off the field for 2 minutes because the play stops anyways. So I think if and you could debate if that should have been a yellow because maybe it should have been. And I don't have a problem with MLS experimenting with some of these kind of rules. People will complain and say they're Americanizing it. Well, guess what, folks? We're in America, But I also like to take the opposite side just because it's part of the fun of the show. But I get it. Now, does it need to be tweaked, maybe fine-tuned? Are there some things that maybe they need to look at? Yeah, maybe. But I don't know what those things are. I guess time will tell. I don't think you can revoke a rule, change a rule just because of one player was mad about it. And here's a bigger issue. Messi should not be mad. He should have known. This is not a secret. Every team knew about these rules. This isn't anything new. He shouldn't be all mad. He was shown that you could see him mouthing his displeasure to the fourth official. That's on that's on him. That's on Tata. That's on, Inter Miami for not communicating the rules to the players. Whether you like the rule or not, you should at least know the rule. Like, I'm sure players don't like a ton of rules. There's a ton of rules they don't like, but they know them, and so they can follow them. This one seems like Messi did not know about the rule, and that's a problem of communication. Louis Rodrigues saying European football don't even have rules like this. Rules changes have to start somewhere. Somebody's got to start it, So why not a low? Here's the thing. This is going to piss off MLS people. Why not experiment with a lower league like MLS? Like, we've got eyeballs on us, but we are not a European league. Why not experiment? Look, MLS had said at one point in time that they would be open to working with FIFA to test out things. I think MLS was one of the first. I'm not sure if they were the first, but one of the first to kind of work with FIFA on concussion protocols, right? So why not experiment with a league like MLS as opposed to starting in the Premier League? Then you really piss people off.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Peter. Hopefully my neighbors are kind of loud, so hopefully it's not coming out too much. I've been muting wherever I can so people can listen to you. But I see what you're saying, and yeah, it's something they They have to look into if stuff like this continues, if stuff like this actually happens more than that would affect the game. In this case, it didn't really affect the game. It worked out in the end, except for Messi being concerned. But there's other rules also that kind of got other players intrigued.
Yeah, before we go to that, there's two comments that just show the opposite sides of this and how different people have different thoughts. I had put a star next to these, which means it saves the comments. I wanted to go back to them. Louis had said earlier that this Messi was upset with the ridiculous rules by MLS. Not even FIFA has them implemented, but MLS. So I would say to Louis' point, I think it would have been a good idea had they communicated this with FIFA. And maybe they did. I don't know. But work with FIFA on say, hey, we're thinking about this to kind of speed up the game, because that's what it is. Look, baseball did some controversial rule changes to speed up the game. And at the end of the day, it made the game better. People don't like rule changes, but if it makes the game better, and it may make the game, it may not. Time will tell. But then Chris Arjun, on the complete opposite end, the rule makes sense to stop all divers and actors. So, you've got people from both, and it's no surprise there because Chris and Louis are arguing all the time on social media. They're always on the opposite sides of things.
Well, one of the things I was thinking about, Peter, is maybe the 2 minutes is too long. Maybe a minute is okay.
Maybe. Here, Zayad Zalaf, sorry if I butchered your name, says it's not well thought. This rule goes against the fouled player instead of punishing the cheaters. So you're saying the cheaters, but if you're faking it, you're the cheater. So I get what you're saying, Zayad, in that Messi got punished for something he didn't do. However, if he was out there rolling around on the ground faking it, then they punished the right guy. In this case, that was not the situation. So yeah, some more thought may need to go into it. I don't know how you kind of tweak it. Because the referee can't discern if you're faking it or not. These guys all act like they just got shot, It's like, all right. Back to the other rule change before we lose you, Ed. This is the rule that Suarez was upset about. Time substitution rule. Time substitution rule is rule requires that a substituted player exit the field within 10 seconds. That's pretty fast. Failure to exit from any point of the field within 10 seconds will cause the incoming player to wait for a 60-second holding period before entering the game at the next stoppage. During the holding period and prior to the substitution entering, the team will play down a player. Exception to the rules include injury and goalkeeper substitutions. So Sports Shorts jumping in here saying 10 seconds, that's too fast. It's too fast. So here even, I read a quote where even Tata had this rule wrong, or at least he says he has a rule wrong. I don't know if he's, but he said he thought, now because this is where it sounds ridiculous. He said he thought the player had 1 minute to get off the field. Since when does a player have a minute to get off the field? You start slow walking. The referee's always on your back, like, hey, move. Right? That's nothing new.
Yeah, that was 1 minute's too much. I think 30 seconds would do. Maybe that's a little too long. But I mean,
10 is short. But the idea is it's like you don't have to go back to the bench. You have to get off to the closest sideline. So unless you're in the middle of the field, I guess you could probably get to a sideline within 10 seconds. And that did.
Suarez was moving, man. I was actually surprised that he got out so quick. So that was my impression. I was like, wow, he's really booking. And then when that happened, I saw his face like
he started yelling at the fourth ref.
Yeah, and then of course Campana got pissed off too. And
yeah,
I think Campana didn't get on till like I don't know, another 2 minutes or something because the play didn't stop.
Exactly. So you got to wait your minute, but then you also got to wait your opportunity for the play to stop. So yeah, Campana's standing there and he's getting punished. Again, this is all just to speed up the game. to be honest, people don't like rule changes. I don't have a problem with rule changes. Of course, they may need to get tweaked. I know I'm just repeating myself, but as Ed knows, I'm a rule follower. I'm the kind of guy that follows the rules, and if they say you shouldn't do something, I don't do it. I just
Peter follows the rules, that's for sure, man. He's a by the rule guy, straight as an edge. You can't go bad with Peter. He's always on time too.
Hey, Eric Thomas brings up a point here. It says, hey, Peter, I heard on another Inter Miami podcast. What are you doing on another Inter Miami podcast? Traitor? Don't tell Ted. Anyways, just a joke. We like everybody. Just a joke. Hey, Peter, I heard on another Inter Miami podcast that the league should review all potential dives and fine players according through VAR reviews. If players face hefty fines, they will sing a new tune. Okay, but the hefty fine. So you can't fine Messi the same as Kromoski. They're in very different tax brackets. So if you say it's a hefty fine, what's a hefty fine? Is a $10,000 fine hefty? I mean, that's a huge fine, right?
That's huge for Kromoski, man. That poor kid.
He can't afford that.
Is a lot for him.
He's just starting his career. He can't afford. What ends up happening is the team ends up paying for it probably, and it doesn't affect the player at all. But then someone like Messi is just like, that's the coins in my pocket. This is the coins in my pocket. I don't care. I'll fake it because the money doesn't matter to me.
Just find me more. It's like a Donald Trump thing. Just find me. No problem.
So finding a player may definitely dissuade the players that are on the lower end because they can't afford it. But those players that are on the higher end that just if they really want to win bad enough and they're like, I'll take the fine. I don't care. I mean, that's a thought. But so I think with this one, time substitution rule, I think maybe just increase the time to maybe 20 seconds. I think that should be enough. The other change that they made, this one I think is cool though, but people on social media had an issue with it. The in-stadium VAR announcement. So this is kind of like the NFL does, where they click the button and you hear the referee say, the player in pink was, found to have fouled Messi. He gets a yellow card, whatever.
Yeah, free kick type of thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, they clarify whatever they looked at. If the referee has to go and look at a screen because of a VAR, they got to go look at a television monitor. They're going to get on their microphone and they're going to tell the audience what their final decision is based off of what they saw. And some people in social media were having a good time with it and just picking on the referee a couple weeks ago because he said the team in blue. He didn't say whatever it was, Minnesota. I forgot what team it was. He just said the team in blue, and people were making fun of it. But who cares? I mean, he said team in blue. What you know what it is. I like this. I like more transparency, and the technology is there. Why not use it? This is something that, to me, it may feel very American, but I like it. And, I like it when the NFL does it too. I like to know, what is the referee thinking? And so they tell you a little bit.
I'm with you on that, Peter Brown. I think technology is good. It's going to help us out. The VAR, I think, is a good thing. It's going to help out, a lot of these. It's helped out when some of these goals haven't been, that shouldn't have been allowed, and vice versa, when penalties should have been called and they weren't called in the first place.
Esteban Dito talks about the fine. If we were to fine players, it should be a percentage to a footballer's salary. That's a way to do it. Louis Rodrigues feels like with these rules, it could probably affect the future signings. I don't think so. Look, this league,
ready for it. Yeah.
This league has had wacky rules on and off from the beginning. It's nothing new. These are just new set of rules. We haven't seen anything like this in a while. Remember when we used to end, no games ended in a tie? We ended in a penalty shootout. Those were fun, but they were wacky.
Yeah,
And guess what? They still got some
they
big
weren't
name
actually.
players at the time.
Remember in the beginning, they weren't actually penalties. They were, what were they called? They were the shootout. I think it was just called.
Yeah, they called it a shootout. They didn't technically call it a penalty kick because you weren't stopped in one spot. You ran up to it,
That was kind of.
yeah, it was cool because I think if I remember correctly, they had a shot clock, which is very like NBA, and they would roll those out. And I think you had, I don't remember, maybe like 7 seconds to dribble the ball and get it,
There's that pressure.
Right.
And
so
a lot of them missed. I'd say it was like penalties almost 50-50.
It was super exciting, but it was definitely it alienated a lot of diehard football fans. And look, the market will speak. I think there's potential good things with these rules. I like the idea of trying to find ways to speed up the game. Again, they did this in baseball, different rules, but it worked. It's gone from maybe a 7-hour game to a 5-hour game. They're still long baseball games, but are these the right rules? Do they need to be adjusted? Do they need to be tweaked? Maybe, probably, and that's the thing is it's kind of like a workshop, and they felt like, here's the thing is they workshopped it in MLS Next Pro. They felt like they saw a positive outcome as far as game being sped up. It discouraged people from faking it. It moved the game along a lot. But who knows if they'll stick around? And I don't think a player like, let's say the next Messi, I don't think he's not coming because of those rules.
I agree. That doesn't make a difference. I think that's just the rules that we have right now, and like you said, maybe FIFA is aware of them. They just said, let's try it out in MLS. And
yeah, I'm not sure that. If that's the case, they should have been more transparent. They should say that these rules have been in cooperation with FIFA. That would have been something that I would have said in this article. They didn't. So it makes me wonder maybe if it's not. But speaking of wackiness, and it didn't stop. Like, think about it. Just up until recently, teams were flying on coach or business class, right? They were flying on the same plane that you and I fly on. And you had players like Wayne Rooney flying on Southwest Airlines, as an example. I don't know if they actually flew on Southwest, but something like that. And Wayne Rooney was very vocal about it, did not like it. And because of his being vocal about it, I think he helped push for change. It didn't change instantly. He helped push for change. So Messi complaining about it can help push for change. Here we go. Richard says, let's see, this is not fair. DP's got to fly first class. See, that's not fair. That's like class system. That's not good. All the teams should be together. Everybody's in first class or nobody's in first class. But
yeah, they all go together, man, because that's not good for esprit de corps, man.
Yeah. But now they're using charter flights. And then when they first started a couple of years ago with the charter flights, it was like you could only do like 10 charter flights a season, something like that. It was a lower number. And so you had to say, okay, if we're flying the longest distance that we fly, we're going to do that a charter so it's more comfortable for our players. If we're flying from, say, Florida to DC, that's a shorter flight. We'll just fly coach, right? But now I think everything's charter. I think they're all charter. And that's partially because of Messi. So, them complaining about it will bring about change. I don't think it'll stop. It didn't stop Wayne Rooney from coming. It didn't stop other famous players from flying, first class / coach.
That's true. But yeah, I'm glad they're doing that, at least for the longer flights to LA and Seattle. That's definitely going to help Portland. We got a game in Portland coming up.
Yeah, exactly. Esteban is asking for what's going on in the background there. Share some of that Argentina churrasco being cooked at least there.
I wish, man. It's actually the neighbors that are doing that. We already ate earlier. We had Ecuadorian fritada.
Yeah, there's not going to be Argentinian churrasco there.
It was Ecuadorian fritada, which is really good, which is pork, pieces of pork, and with hominy and all sorts of other a lot of not bananas, green bananas. There you go.
All right.
Or on that.
All right. So let's take the last 10 minutes and talk about Orlando. And like Louis is talking about it, this Wednesday Classico game, Orlando versus Miami. What do we think? So Orlando is, where is Orlando in the
Peter, they actually beat
I know.
Philadelphia, which is on paper, which is actually a team that I thought was going to be higher up in the table, man.
Philadelphia is struggling this year. Philadelphia is struggling. They're just barely above the playoff line right now, and Orlando's a few spots behind. They're behind Atlanta with 3 wins and what's that? 5 losses and 3 ties.
Peter, where are we? Could you check where Inter Miami is?
We got to scroll a lot to find us. Up there at the top.
Wow, that's way up there,
27 points versus 12.
Yeah.
But having said that, the whole thing going back to being more American, any given Sunday, the old saying, any given Sunday, any team can beat anybody on any day. So Orlando is definitely, on the down right now. But I probably shouldn't even say this, but interesting thing. I interviewed Oscar Pereira's brother for a job.
Wow.
I might be hiring him, which is an interesting little weird thing. Small.
Maybe we can
world.
get a future interview then.
I don't know. I don't generally mix. I don't mix. Business and pleasure. This is the pleasure usually, but I just mentioned it. It was kind of an interesting thing. But yeah, Orlando. The last time we played Orlando, we beat them 5-0. I think that was the score. So now we're traveling up to Orlando, and
yeah,
Mr. Spider Pig. I bet 1,000 that Orlando City will score first.
The way we play, I think that's probably possible.
I wonder if that's a prop. I wonder if that's a prop bet on the Hard Rock bet thing. We did a betting episode not that long ago. I wonder, there's prop bets where saying how many goals will Suarez score, how many goals will Messi score, all that kind of stuff. I wonder if there's a prop bet that's, there's got to be one that says something like Orlando scores first.
There probably is, man. But
I might put money on that.
With our current form, I would think that we would probably, even if they do score, dude, like I said, I felt comfortable with this game. They scored twice, and I was just like, you know what? As long as we get a goal in, this first half, I was like, we can get this one back. And sure enough, with Montreal, it worked. I think it could happen with Orlando, too. They're going through a bad time. They did beat Philadelphia, though, so they're probably going to have a little high on that one. But Philly's not that great this year, so I think we have the possibility of getting a result in Orlando. It is the stadium is named after us, so it's only everything would be complete with a victory in our stadium in Orlando.
Yeah, Inter Stadium. That's right. Baldwin Forrest says Orlando somehow beat Philly, but Orlando will get cooked by Miami unless there is some injury problem. So keep in mind, though, that they have a couple good players. They do have that guy. What's his name? Duncan McGuire. McGuire, is that his last name? Duncan something or other. I think it's McGuire. He's the kid that was basically had a deal to go play over in England. Got on a flight to go meet with the club. In the middle of the flight, the deal falls apart. When he lands in England, he basically has to get on the plane and turn around, come right back home. Deal's done. There's a possibility that he could leave in the summer or something like that, which is soon. But he is a good player. He's fast. He definitely can take advantage of of a fast attack in our defense. So I would not sleep on Orlando. I think it's very likely we're going to see us coming back from behind. We're going to be the comeback kings again. And I think it potentially could be, say, a 3-1 game. Something like that.
I'm more like a 4-1. I think we're gonna be able.
Oh,
If Messi is doing all right, if Luis Suarez is still okay, I mean, they've got a little bit of rest. Will they get rested? I don't know. I think, start them off, let them play. Maybe take them off the second half. At least Suarez, because Suarez, you know, you could tell that it's been more of a mission for him to finish the games. But dude, yeah, I think 4-1. Well, they'll score first, and then we'll do the comeback thing.
Ash Preetam is asking, will Miami rest starters? Um, my thought is no, because look, when does Copa America start? Starts
I
next
think
month.
like a couple. Yeah, I think it's
Couple
next
weeks,
month.
right? So
Yeah.
I would think Messi wants to be in full form. So unless there's any kind of if he has a little bruised ankle from that challenge, maybe he doesn't play. But I think he plays. I think also I'm curious. There were a lot of complaints about Messi not playing in games, right? Because these tickets are getting sold at a premium price. There was even articles written that Apple was not happy because this is a partnership with MLS basically, and so they obviously they know that they can get better people, more eyeballs on Apple if Messi's playing. So I don't know if it's like, hey, he's kind of contractually obligated to play, almost like unless you're really injured. Because so I would expect to see the three guys, and you never know, we could see Alba back. He is training. Or I don't know if he would wait until the next home game against DC United next weekend.
I would just let him rest because I think we're doing good without him. I think you know if it were up to me, I'd rest him up for a little bit and then bring him in for the DC game. We're at home. Let him just stay off the plane and chill.
A new Weissman saying June 20th is when Copa America starts. So, I mean, there could be then a potential rest here or there for Messi, and then he plays for sure the 2 weeks before. I don't know.
Right.
But I think we'll see. I think we'll see our guys, in Orlando. Those tickets are going for a pretty penny. Pedro's jumping in saying, I only want the club to sign a good defender. If we line up Kristoff in playoff matches, we're going to be eliminated. I mean, as far as in the Orlando game, I expect Aviles back. Aviles didn't play because of yellow card accumulation, so I don't see. I don't have a problem with Kristoff being on the lineup. He is not a bad player. He's just slow. So if Kristoff is going to be on the field, he cannot push up. He has to stay back.
Keep him back.
He can't track back. So keep him. Yeah. And so I don't have a problem with Kristoff being our second center back as far as, in depth. So behind Aviles, and when Aviles can't play, Kristoff is not a terrible player. He just cannot push up. But you're right. We do need to sign a center back.
I think that's probably going to be the next thing that, next window. I think they're going to go after that. I'm not sure if they had mentioned that they were going to have another, I don't know if it's DP, but maybe another type of TAM player. There were some other rules that they were going to go in effect at the midseason. So, let's hope it
we talked about those some, I think, last week. That's more, there's not a fourth DP. They did not do that. It's all relative around the U22 initiative. So, we don't have time to really go deep into that again, but we could talk about that again next week or something, because that is something that is hard for people to understand. And I have a pretty good understanding of the rules, and I get confused. I mean, so it's just one of those things. MLS rules are wacky from all around. Richard asking, and I know the answer to this question. How long does it take to drive from Miami to Orlando? Well, from Miami, it's 4 hours, right? For me, being I'm kind of North Broward. I'm almost in Boca Raton. For me, it's like a little over 2.5. So it's pretty quick for me. And I actually wanted to go to that game because I'm off. I'm not working that day, and I took my birthday's next week. So I took off a few days around my birthday. And I was going to go, but I just didn't want to spend the prices. I mean, the prices were they're high, and I don't want to go by myself. So I want my wife to go or something. And I just don't want to spend $400, $500, $600 or more for to see Messi when I could see him every weekend or every other weekend in my hometown. So
we are going to have, fortunately, I just talked to Don Roberto, and he said he's going to go with the supporters. So
okay.
we're probably going to have a video of some sort for that. So that's good. I'm going to see if we could do a vlog or something similar, maybe a live. We'll see. But we'll definitely have something, this weekend. And Peter, we are going to have the show tomorrow with Marco Oso Donoso in Spanish. So be sure to check the Spanish channel out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. we try to be on time because Peter gets on our ass.
That's right. That's right. Esteban is saying, drive. Brightline train is the way to go now. Brightline is expensive, guys. It is cheaper for me to drive to Orlando.
That's true, Peter. We've done it a couple of times. We've sent my mother-in-law a couple of times on the train, it's I could drive there for the money that we're paying there and back.
I mean, if you're a single person, if it's just you going, if you're just paying for yourself, it might be a good value. It might make sense to go up there on the train because of gas and tolls and all that kind of stuff, and wear and tear on your car. But if you're bringing a family, if you're paying for 3 or 4 people, all of a sudden it's a lot cheaper to drive. So.
People are already singing happy birthday to Peter Brown. When's your birthday,
thank
Peter?
you, guys. Thank you. Send
him presents. He's going to have a wish list coming up, an Amazon wish list. He's going to have, we'll have that, you guys can send him Disney stuff and all that stuff. So send him stuff for Christmas, God, for
real quick, talking about wish lists. I was looking at? Look at this. I was goofing around online. Look how sweet that is.
There's Peter's wish list right there. It's going to be all through Caneswear, though. So
no, but Caneswear doesn't even sell this. Stuff. Unfortunately, Caneswear doesn't sell this. This is Target. So
and anyway. You can put your name on there. It says Tervis there.
Well, because it is a Tervis. That's the brand, Ed. It's a long time. It's a brand. Anyways, thanks everybody for the birthday wishes. I actually got to run now because, I got to go watch Love is Blind with my daughter.
Whoa.
I know.
You actually admitted that.
Yeah, I did. I like the show. I like the show. I like it. It's fun. Anyways, thanks everybody for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to tune in tomorrow and watch Uncle Ed and Marco. See you, everybody.